How hard can it be to draw a Kemono furry? Oh god. Okay. Hi everyone! Today I've decided I'm a YouTuber again. But before I can actually tell you the plans for my channel, I need someone to represent me. I've a lot of different OCs, and right now I'm using Sleepless, my practice rig, but I don't think she fits the vibe for the whole channel. So after some digging, I've decided I'm gonna do Pokey. She's one of my newest OCs, and honestly, she's just fitting me the best. Before I can actually draw Pokey and rig her and everything in between, I have to make a base. Bases are super helpful in the VTuber creation. They save time during the rigging and keep consistency throughout different characters. Today I'm designing a Kemono-style furry VTuber base. I know it sounds a bit complicated, but basically they are a special type of furry. For what I've learned, the Kemono style has a few different characteristics than others. One, their face are rounded and much cuter. They have big eyes with lots of expression. Their ears are also very bigger. One main feature are the paws. Like, look at that. That's a big paw. For the VTuber itself, I need some expressions. The more expression the model has, the more people actually connect with it. Now that we're done with all this talking, I think it's time to actually start with the art. My bases are very simple and everything is actually like a very simple process. Okay, so first of all, I had to figure out where the center is. The center is here, so I'm gonna make here a center point. What's important is that the model is reflected, meaning the white that you have is not the white of the character. That's left and that's right, because the character's left and right is the opposite from yours. The next thing I'm gonna do is actually making all the folders. And our VTuber is made by separating every single piece of the art, which can be quite overwhelming, honestly. What I'm gonna do is actually draw each line first, and then during the rigging time I'm gonna decide if I want to fuse them or not. But I think I will probably need to fuse the hair. But okay, now that I have this done, I'm gonna do something very creative, which is called sketching. So my sketching process is usually very simple and I don't like using these. But basically I just use the sketch, and on my second screen I have waves of kimonos. I'm gonna use best full body furry costumes, cause they are more what I actually wanna draw. think that's good enough. I didn't draw the tail yet cause it's a bit harder to do when you have symmetry on, and I need the symmetry as long as possible. So now that I have made a sketch, I'm gonna make it more lighter, and we're gonna start with separating. We're gonna start with head. So this is one I forgot kind of. So because we need to like have everything rigging ready, that means we actually need to separate every single bit of it. So we're gonna redraw all the lines with black and try to be as exact as possible with how I want them to be in the end. Okay, so this is now the head base. I'm gonna call it Lineart. I will have a lot of Lineart parts. Like you can see here, I got Chic Tough, which I will make another one called Tough. And here it is important because we will later like have to animate it, that I'm gonna draw both sides together so it's equal, but later we will have to separate. So I'm gonna draw them. I'm gonna draw also a bit further in, so when I have to like rotate the head later, I have enough that it doesn't look awkward, if it makes sense. The mouth is a bit more complex, so I'm gonna have to explain it. So the mouth, you have to make the insides of it. Basically, I have to like consider a lot more factors. I always like to do this little part there, so that will be also our own like layer. So first of all, I need the upper mouth, which is gonna be this. Then I'm gonna do the shield parts, which is gonna be like here. It looks much smaller now. Oopsie. I feel like this size of brush is falling me off. Then I'm actually gonna draw it like open, so that's gonna be the lower part. And now I see that the mouth, I feel like it's far too small. I can size it up. Okay. So now I have to do the teeth, which is gonna be from the front teeth. So here gonna be the canines. It looks weird, I know. So then they're gonna be the front ones. Like this. Then there will be back ones, so I need to draw them. When the mouth goes like up, you can see more of the teeth, so I'm gonna draw them like this. If you can see that like bubbles. For the bottom, I just gonna like copy it and rotate. I'm gonna make my own folder now because this is getting out of hand. For the tongue, I think because I want to have in the end like a tongue out, I need for that like a back tongue, which is gonna be this. It's gonna be the back of the tongue, but I also need a wheel tongue. Then we have in and out. It looks very cursed, and that's just part of the process, sadly. The eyes need to be split apart in various ways, so this part needs to be split. Then comes this part, which I'm gonna make thicker. Then we need the bottom lid. And the eye itself. The lashes need to be separated too. So now we have our first head. It looks very cursed, I must say, but that's just part of this all, that you have stages where it just looks wrong. Let's continue on the body. Okay, so now I have kind of a base, a very cursed base to be honest. I can now start with like disabling the symmetry, so I can start with other parts of the body that I did not do before. So like you can see here, I didn't want it to have a connection, like it was just glued on, so I'm gonna draw now here the connection. The other part is the tail, and the tail itself is like quite the topic, so I have to actually search for VTuber models with tail. Yeah, okay. So from what I'm gathering, the tail has to be straight. So now that I have a very nice base, I can now continue on with other parts. So I like to start the coloring part with also during that part I honestly start separating things. Here's the line art. This is nothing. That means I can color this one. Between tabs, I'm gonna be a bit more creative and gonna go outside more, making this kind of shape. That helps during the honestly wigging part, because then you have axis, which is always good. And now we have the left and right issue. That's why I'm gonna do a copy paste. Gonna call this left, and this is gonna be right. So for the easiest part to remove one side, because this is gonna be the left. That's the left side, so I need to remove this side. So I just press this, and yeah, then it's gone. And this side, I do it like this. And now I have to separate it. So that's good. That's not good. Okay, here, for example, can we now see that this color here is not enough, because it has to be going through this part. So now I can easily tell that that's not enough. So I'm gonna make this a bit brighter, go on this color, and just continue coloring till I see that it will be enough. Okay, so the eyes and the mouth are the hardest part, honestly, for this whole wig. And also in the drawing, they're very annoying to do. Okay, good. So now she's actually looking forward, and we're gonna start with the mouth. So the mouth has to be one of the most complex things I know. So we start simple. These bits I have to actually name. This one I can keep like this. I'm just gonna say upper lip. But this one I have to split. So not as separated. Then this is the lower lip, and now it becomes complicated. So you can tell that there is something going on, and this is not good. So we need actually below there a layer called inside mouth, which is gonna be this dark color, and I'm gonna make it quite big. That's going to be the inside of the mouth. Later on, I will have to make sure that this inside is fitting with the shape of the mouth itself. And these parts will be clipped for this, meaning which I can actually show, that's the inside of the mouth. And when I clip them like this, they will stay inside the mouth, not to the teeth. Again, I have to make a difference between left and right. Okay, so that looks so custom. I hate this every single time. Now I have to separate these two. The middle one stays like this. But these are the teeth upper. I need to actually copy this now. Call that lower. And then rotate it. This is even more awful. Oh god. After this very terrifying moment, we can now appreciate the top. Ugh. The tongue. I was hoping I don't need to, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I need to. So I was hoping that I don't actually need to do this, but after I'm looking at this now more closely, the tongue out would be an issue because tongue will be over the lower lip but shouldn't be over the upper lip. So the upper lip actually needs a color to be used to get over this part. But now you can see that it will make sure that the tongue is not going over the upper lip but gonna be over the lower lip. But yeah, now we have actually the mouth. Now we go to the eyes, and it's gonna be similar to the mouth principle. This one actually, let me think. Actually, no, I don't need that. Because I got clipping the principle of the mouth, I actually don't need to do something like this over there. I can just use the inside of the eye. Here it's gonna be the color of the eye. The next one is gonna be the eye itself. I'm gonna use another folder, eye, and just how I want to clip it into the actual VTuber. It's gonna be like this, and because it's clipped to the background, I can then move it without worries. It's gonna be outside. So I need to get this like this. Let's go there. Now to the eye color. Then I'm gonna use the pupil. That looks quite creepy. Also, I just noticed I didn't use white. Now I'm gonna clip it again to this, and because that one is not seeable, you can't see it. Now look at that. That looks actually very good. Not too bad, I would say. Also, I have forgotten something which I always forget, and that's the closed eye. So basically you cannot actually draw the closed eyes with wigging yourself. You have to make it blend in. That's also something we often use, this blending in to scenes and stuff. So basically I go to the lower and just add volume to it. Then I remove these and that and these and this. Actually no. Into this I do also a shine, and I'm gonna make a folder that's just closed. And now we have created our eye. Then I can base and look at this beautiful abomination. Actually, it's not too bad. So like the other ones, I need to separate the eyes into left and right. And I'm gonna also separate the parts, which I didn't yet. Now, that was actually the hardest part for all this. Even though this looks quite complicated, it is not that bad. I make the head up there so you can see how it's gonna be looking, and honestly I think that's a very good base. I'm gonna finish this all and then show you the end product. Okay, so the model would look like this into the program, so like you can see everything looks tidy and okay for rigging. And even though it looks like this currently, it would have everything inside that I needed. Okay, now that we have actually done the actual part of like drawing model, I can now continue with the next part, which is the expressions. So for that, I'm gonna make a new layer called expressions, and then I'm gonna make like so the basic expressions would be happy, sad, angry, excited, sad, and maybe flustered. I think another one would be like, I don't know, need to check if there's like more expressions that would be like cool to add. One is hard eyes, which I love. Ooh, this eye is also good, like this one. That would be like side plush. Oh, I always forget this one, but this is like so used. Like the shock one, I like just these. It's like a shadow that happens. It would be easier with like other characters, but I think for Furry, expression would be like this. Wow, we have now so many expressions. So this one, the face, is actually like done. This is missing. So I just gonna go to the expressions, make a new folder, angry, and make the thing I need. Probably. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. So this one. Then we need excited. Looks nice. They're gonna be like on and off, like sparkling. I will probably mirror them, so it's gonna be a sparkling animation. Now the next expression would be sad. Okay. That would be one version. And this one will be like flowing down, going down and then plop. Looks good. And then I'm gonna make like a tear line. Yeah, I can see the vision. So, expression checker. And this one. Now comes the blush. Very basic, honestly. The full blush is like a full red blush. Not in this size. Not in this size. This looks even more custom than usual. Actually, I think this looks better. The heart is gonna be very fun. My secret on drawing perfect hearts. Just doing these. And also, which I'm gonna do is in the eyes, I'm gonna make another version. Like this is the star. But I will make a heart version. That one, very funny. They're gonna be like going this way, making a tilt, and then disappearing. Sleep animation, I'm gonna do them like this, like going forth and getting when they go like smaller. So I only need one, and then I'm gonna like edit it. That's gonna add another one when it's like halfway through. I'm gonna call this one evil. I'm gonna make here like a shadow. And then I'm gonna blend it a lot. Good. I mean, the opacity can still make like this. That she can have expressions. She can be sad now, she can be happy, she can be panicked, or she can be in love. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you want to see more of what I'm creating. And it would be nice if you keep a follow, a like, maybe even comment with tips and tricks. And next episode we're gonna recap. Thank you very much. Bye.